Hi, Sharon Durbin Graves, Painting with Acrylics 101.com, here in my studio in cold, dreary, rainy Kentucky right now. it's pretty rough out there right now. Last month we spent time learning about things that every artist should know. This month in February we are going to talk about trees. And there's all sorts of trees to learn to paint. And they have some similarities and they have some differences. And similarities being, you always have to know where your light source is coming from. So you want to know where the light is on the tree and where the shadow part is on the tree. Barks are all different, leaves are different. Palm trees are obviously different than anything else. So today we are going to look at a regular tree like an oak or an elm or an ash, anything like that with leaves that fall off in the fall. So I have a palette of cad yellow, medium, burnt sienna, burnt umber, ultramarine blue, and some titanium white. I always tap my brush in the water, and then I tap it off on a paper towel because you want it damp or moist, but definitely not sopping wet. So for my tree here, I don't know where my pen, here we go. My light is going to come from this side. This is with soft vine charcoal, and I usually do a smaller one, but I usually put an arrow so I remember where the light's coming from. So anyway, I'm going to take some of the, I'm going to start out kind of dark, the burnt umber, the ultramarine blue, and I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. White serves a couple of different purposes. One is these paints are mostly transparent, so if I want to make it opaque to where you can't see through it, I need to add some titanium white to that. Also, when you're mixing dark colors, it's really kind of hard to see what you have until you add that white. Then it kind of is oh, that's the color. Okay. So when I'm painting a tree that has leaves, I start at the bottom. I'm going to add, here comes my root. I'm on the point edge of my brush. And now I'm going to go up. See, I don't care that paint that I ran out. I don't care. It's no big deal. and as I come down here, I might add a little blue, a little more brown. Anyway, here comes the other part of the root. It's going to come out here a little bit, and it's going to come up. Okay, now when I get up into here, now my brush needs to turn so I can go out and make some branches. And I'm way back on my brush. You need paint that's kind of loose, so I might have to touch it in the water and then touch it back on the paper towel so it's a little bit thinner. So here we go. I'm going to put something up here. I'm turning my brush. Comes something out over here. I'm going to take this one back up in the middle, and it's going to go back this way. I'm going to kind of redo this one a little bit. Now, if I want branches in the back to show up, they need to come down. Okay, so see, they're not straight lines. So here's some bigger branches this way. See how I just moved my brush a little bit and I got those little bitty lines there. Don't try to get those gone. You want all of those. Let the brush do the work for you. Okay? We're going to use a smaller brush here. Now see that one kind of light back there? That kind of tells your eye it's further back. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I'm going to come along here now and I'm going to add some more blue and dark. I want this to be as dark as it possibly can be. Now, if on my own palette, I would pull out some purple or some turquoise. I didn't put it on here. But what I want to do here is go into this part and make like a holler or a hollow. Here in Kentucky, it'd be pronounced a holler. Okay, so I would add something to make that darker, and maybe I'll do that in a little while. But anyway, I want that to be as, maybe if I just put some blue in there, it'll, yep, there we go. That tells your eye that that goes inside, okay? Now we're going to fix that in a little bit, but okay, so I've still got all this. I'm going to try to just wipe off some of that, but I'm not going to clean my brush. I'm going to add some yellow over here on the side. You cannot change this whole pile of paint by mixing. You need to pull off a little bit and work in that, and then continue on. I'm going to add a little bit of white to that. Okay, so my light's coming from this way, so I need some highlight on this part of the tree, and I'm just going to go along right now kind of sideways. It's going to come up in here. My brush got carried away there, but it'll get fixed. I'm adding a little more white and a little more yellow because you really can't tell. I'm sure you can't tell on the, there you go. Now you want to pull it in. You don't want to, you don't want to go like this because it'll make a roll of paint and that'll be very hard to get rid of. So you want to pull that in. Now, if the light is coming, the light's coming from this way, so this side of the hollow will be lighter. So I'm just going to tap. There, okay? So now that gives your eye a little something to chew on. Oh, something's going on there. Well, that's inside the tree. Okay, so now I on my regular palette, I might add some orange at this point. Now you have to remember, this branch, there will be no highlight on under here or in here, but there could be some right in here. Okay, and the same thing all the way up here. You have to remember, where's the light? That's why I put this here, so I can remember where's the light coming from. So there could be some on this side of the branch. It wouldn't be under here. Now, also, what you can do, I rinsed out my brush. And this is acrylic paint. It does dry quickly, so you don't want to leave paint in your brush. Now I'm going to pick up, this is a bristle brush. That was a synthetic flat. This is a natural hair bristle. I'm going to come over here with this burnt sienna, and I'm adding it to my little bit of highlight mix over here. Now, if I'll just come up here and barely skim the surface of the tree. Can you see my brush hopping? Just barely skim the surface of the tree. It will give it something that kind of looks like bark. Just barely skim that surface. Now in here, you have to remember, where's the branch? See, I'm just barely touching. I'm going to put some in here. There we go. Now I'm going to come back over here, pick up a little white, some of that orange, and I'm going to come down on the top of the root to give it a little more roughness. Okay. I'm just trying to give it some bark, and it's very careful, very light pressure. That's how you make something look 3D, is with that pressure. Okay, now finally, I'm going to come and show you how to, I'm rinsing out that bristle brush. Now I'm going to get out the dreaded, script liner. So you need water in your script liner. So I'm not going to tap it off. This needs to be more like ink and less like paint. So a couple of times through there, and as I load the brush, you have to roll it in the paint, okay? So now I've got some darks. See, I've got some interesting pieces that are there, but I need some more. I'm using my baby finger to steady my hand. As I pull away, I pull the brush away from the paper. So it's very thin here, it's thicker back in here. There's a learning curve to using this script liner brush. Now, if I start right here where I want that branch to come out, I'm going to have a blob of paint. So I'm going to start back here and get the point coming. There we go. Okay, so that's how you use this script liner for branches. Now, I don't work in one place. I work all around the painting. I'll do 2 or 3 here. Then I'll come over here and do a few. Load your brush by turning it. You'll probably have to come back and get some more water because it needs to be inky and not painty. And when I'm rolling it here, I roll it down to a point. So I'm just going to do that all around the painting. I left myself a little place here. And you let that brush kind of hop around. You're not trying to guide it so much as you're allowing it to decide where it's going to go. My baby finger is holding my hand. So I would just keep doing that all around the tree, depending on how many branches that I wanted. I'll come back a half a dozen times probably, and as acrylic paint dries, it dulls. And so I'll come back and I will highlight that 2 or 3 times. And I'm going to use my bristle brush. Just come across there, get a little more. Throw in a little bit of highlight there. You know, so you're just going to keep looking at it. What am I seeing? Do I see the depth? And you can also, what we did on this highlight here, you can also add some purple or some more dark colors and add a shadow on this side of the tree, and that will accentuate the highlights that are on this side. But the main thing you have to do is keep that piece there right in mind, the arrow that tells you where the light's from. So I hope that you've learned a little bit about painting a tree today, and stick with us, and we're going to learn a different tree every week this month. I usually post on Friday. If you like this, please click the thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel. If you have some art buddies, share it around with them. I work mainly to teach beginning artists. When I started 20 years ago, no internet, so you had to go to the library, check out books, find what you could find, and try to learn as best you can. Today, you've got tons and tons of options. It's never been a better time to learn to be an artist. And so that's what my goal is to help beginning artists. If you have been at it for a while and you know some things, there's lots and lots of workshops and things for you to go and learn and improve on. But if you're a beginner, it's still kind of hard. And that's always been my goal. When I realized how hard it was to get started, that if I ever mastered anything, I would teach it. and so that's what I'm doing. So again, Sharon Durbin Graves, Painting with Acrylics, 101.com. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.